on this music.
1, 2, 3,
4. Welcome back to the Men's Roundtable Series podcast. I'm your host, Mr. U. Really glad to be here with everybody. Good to have this group of warriors back in the box with us again today. Fathers, husbands, sons, and brothers committed to doing this life thing together and doing it right. So I'm excited to have you guys here. In part one, I think it was about a couple of Thursdays ago, we opened up about the real tension a lot of us carry trying to juggle who we are, what we do, and the pressure to keep showing up strong. It was all about the grind versus the gift. That's what the title was, Work, Life, Purpose, the Grind versus the Gift. If you haven't caught the episode yet, it's available on all your listening platforms, on all social media, including our YouTube channel, where you enjoy your podcast listening. And in order to understand where we're going today, it might help you to see that conversation. So check it out wherever you get your podcast. But on part two of the discussion today, we're shifting the focus a little bit. We're keeping the same energy, but different focus. We're talking about redefining success and purpose in a way that fits who we're becoming. Most of us are taught how to work. We're taught how to do all kinds of things, but not align ourselves with what it means to do these things. So what does success look like now? What's purpose look like when we strip away all the expectations from other people? How do you build a life and a career and a legacy that feels true, that feels authentic? How do you say impress people? Before we get into that intense discussion, which I know is going to be good, a little housekeeping first. If you want to be a panelist of the Men's Roundtable Series podcast, you know what to do. There's a QR code up right-hand corner of your screen. Click on it, and we have a conversation getting set up between you and I, and we'll get you in here with the rest of the fellas. So let's go ahead and start the conversation right now. But before we do all of that stuff, last thing also, shout out all the ladies in our lives, the ones that watch the show from in the confines of our own homes, friends, families, sisters, the whole 9 yards. We love y'all. Thanks for dropping the comments about the show, how much you love it, for your husband, your brother, your son, your father, whoever it is. It matters, but you're never going to be a guest or a panelist on this show. It's not personal, it's just business. But thank you for all you support, all this stuff. So all that out of the way, let's meet our panelists for today. Let's keep it kind of really brief. Who's up first? Who you got?
Man, I know how this goes, so I'm going to just jump in. I'm not going to wait for the awkward silence. I'm DL, the Low Life, man. I'm host of the Low Life Show. Mr. You just basically introduced. I'm a brother. I'm a father. Most of all, though, I'm a servant and a fisher of men. I'm here to help y'all out.
Love it. Next.
I'll jump in. I am R.L. Corbett, also known as Rod, coming from Charleston, South Carolina. Like my man said, Mr. Hughes already said it, I am a husband, I am a father, I am just all around positivity pusher, trying to do a few things here where I cultivate and inspire achievement in individuals by helping them really find out who they are, what God has placed on the inside of them. So I'm just here, man, to help to grow and help others grow, man. So let's get it.
Yes.
I'll jump in. Matt Strunk here. Also father, husband. I spent the last 20 years of my life chasing all the things I thought would make me feel happy: money, wealth, building businesses, selling companies, and finally figured out that doesn't necessarily bring fulfillment. So now I've gone down a different path, and I'm helping others hopefully try to find some meaning in life and figure out what matters to them. So happy to be here with you guys.
I love it. Next.
Timothy T.O. Clay, known as Coach T.O., owner of T.O. Clay Light Bulb Lessons, LLC. What is light? Light is love, intellect, greatness, health, and truth. And no better place in the world would I rather be than to here, right here with these brothers, man. So thank you.
Checks in the mail, baby. Love it. Next.
Yes, bro.
Hey, so I'm Alalu Lu Oganyemi. I'm a U.S. Marine officer. Shout out to Marines on our 250th this month. I am a founder of ParentChildConnect.com, and it's a platform dedicated to providing resources to parents, teachers, mentors, and caregivers to help raise the next generation of impactful leaders. So very excited to be here with you, gentlemen, and I'm just honored to be a part.
Yes.
Hey, Vadley here with Purpose Over Position. nonprofit, and also national speaker. Travel around the country speaking to NFL and mostly college football teams, and also businesses as well. Helping people to understand that their purpose and their identity is not in their position, but ultimately into the purpose that God has given them. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
I love it. Next.
I'm Brent Allen, men's coach and podcaster, helping men pursue purpose over autopilot. I'm a girl dad, a strongman aficionado, and an unapologetic coffee drinker and devotee. Fun fact, I've delivered calves, helped magicians, trained bodies, worked in IT, preached, and now I create content. My resume kind of reads like a glitch in the matrix, and I'm glad to be here.
Next.
I love that, Brent. That's why I wanted you to go first, man. I came on last. I figured I should go last. So hello, everybody. Great to see all you guys. My name is Rory Paquette. I am a podcast and speaking coach. I'm also the host of 6 different podcasts, including Power Man, The Podcaster Nation, and Wake Up the Lions, just to name a few. Very happy to be here with you guys. We always have a fantastic discussion. I've been a part of a lot of these, and a lot of really cool faces on here, and new ones too. Olalu, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you on here, man. And to just honestly looking forward to another great conversation with Mr. Yu.
Man, that's very, very good. Nice to see you, sir. Thank y'all for jumping in here and sharing about who you are. The world's ready to find out. so thank y'all for doing this. Of course, if you have any questions in the comments section, if you're watching and listening wherever you are, you got questions for the family, drop your questions, drop your comments. Do not be shy. There's no point to that. You don't get answers by keeping your mouth shut, so please ask questions. Share with us what you're thinking about, what you're feeling. You're not by yourself. You're going to figure it out before the show is over. You're not alone. You feel like you're alone, but that's because you're in isolation. You're not by yourself. All these guys have been through probably what you've been through too, so we're going to talk about that. Fan of the house for my man Lou. Another Oganyemi in the house. What's up, Daniel? Thanks for jumping in here, brother. QR code upper right-hand corner, Daniel. What you waiting for? Get after that, man. Let's go. All right. So we ready to roll, I think. All right. So, okay. No comments coming through. But no. What's up, brother? Good morning. Good to have you in here, man. Thanks for watching and listening. He's so faithful, man. Why you not in the conversation, man? What's happening? Upper right-hand corner of the screen, but the QR code. You know what to do. Use it. All right. So we were talking last time about work, life, and purpose, and we talked about the grind versus the gift. That was an intense conversation. If you guys haven't watched the episode, please do go back and check it out. It's I can't really put it into words. I'm still kind of reeling from it because it was like, wow, that thing cut me. I can cut everybody else. I'm like, wow, I feel like I've been stabbed, but it's in a good way. But we're talking about reframing the work today and reframing what purpose looks like, legacy, and you're kind of just dealing with that from our room of experience, and hopefully we help each other in the process, man. But let's kind of talk about what success looks like. How do we measure it? So I'm putting the question out here to all you guys and everybody that's watching and listening. How do you measure success now? Some people do it in dollars. Some people do it in peace. Some people do it in impact or something else that I didn't name. How do you measure success today? Jump in popcorn style. However you want to do that.
I'll jump with that if that's all right.
Please. Yeah,
okay. That's I love that question because, as an old guy, I might be the oldest guy on the panel. But as an old guy, that has changed over the years a lot. As to when I was in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, I mean, success always looked a lot different. And also where I was with my kids, where I was with my marriage, that success piece has looked a lot different over the years. And now where I am, success is really just measured almost day by day. And it's kind of like, did I do something today that is getting me closer to, any of my goals? And my goals, of course, have changed. So, now it's not about like world domination and, trying to, amass millions and millions of dollars, which, it didn't quite work. But, now it's about, it is about peace. It's about providing my wife with all the things that she gave up on, and that type of thing. She sacrificed a ton of her life to do what we did with our kids. So she's my main focus now. And so every day, if I end the day and I know I did something that got me closer to giving her something back, then that's my success. And I think that it just is really different for everybody. So looking forward to the answers.
Right. Back off that. First of all, I see you drinking from the IU cup, Indiana University. You in Indiana, or are you just a fan, or what?
Both. I'm in Indiana and I'm an IU fan.
Okay, awesome. a few years ago, I used to serve as Indiana Hoosiers team chaplain. So I spent some time in Bloomington, and also the head coach there, Kurt Signetti. I was his chaplain at JMU. So I represent.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I support IU as well. But I think your answer was spot on.
Connections.
Oh yeah,
Look at that.
connection. In fact, I meet with a group of men every Friday from Bloomington, Indiana, at 6:30 every Friday morning, and for an hour. So anyway, that cup kind of definitely blessed me to be able to see that. But to answer the question about success, and ultimately, what I've had to learn is that God is the one that determines purpose. He's the one that determines, where we're going. And so you talked about your wife and her sacrifice. I was a professional football player, and my wife sacrificed. She was a stay-at-home mom. She sacrificed a lot. In fact, she was going for her dream, but then I got called. And so we kind of put her dream on pause so that I can pursue what I thought was success was for our family. Fast forward 5 years later, 6 years later, I basically tell people I'm a stay-at-home dad, right? Because now I have the opportunity to serve my wife in the dentistry field. Her dream was to always be a pediatric dentist, which she has accomplished that. She got about 6 more months before she becomes, fully certified as a pediatric dentist. And because I've seen her sacrifice for me, it made it easy for me to sacrifice for her, right? At first I was battling against the whole, man, I don't know about this. As a man, I just don't know. Like, this just don't work well with me. But I do have the opportunity to travel and speak. So I still work, right? I speak probably about 10 times a month on average, maybe even more. But all of those is just going in and coming back home, right? I'm not like trying to stay. I'm trying to make impact, right? I'm trying to plant seeds and knowing that that's okay. At some point, you can make an argument like, oh, well, somebody else can make an argument like, no, I like being there to water the seeds, to nurture the seeds, to do all of this, because that's where I see the true impact. And I can feel like bad about that. Like, man, I don't get to cultivate and really get to spend time and all of those things, but that's not the season that I'm in right now, right? And so there was a point in time I was in a season that Indiana team chaplain in the trenches with those guys every day. Michael Penix Jr., who just got hurt again for the Atlanta Falcons. I have a picture with him when he went through. I was with him in his first injury that he had at IU. Those moments mean a lot to me. And so anyway, I don't want to continue to talk, but I just want to share, success. We have to, in my book titled Purpose Over Position, chapter 3 is titled Redefine Success. And the reason why I had to redefine success is because I was going based on my 6-year-old dream that I had when I was a 6-year-old, and that was still kind of leading me. And I realized that's cool. That got me far, but is that my reality? And is that what God is calling me to today? And so we have to go through a process of redefining success, almost like you said, Roy, almost every day.
Yeah. And I'd like to piggyback off that, Rory. Both of you guys, but I definitely resonate with the chasing the traditional measures of success when I was younger, of like, because I grew up poor and everything else. I'm like, I must need money or status or something to be happy because this shit ain't working. So let me figure out. And eventually I learned that wasn't it. And I think today I approach life as far as, how do I measure success? It comes down to authenticity to me. Am I living a life based on my truth? Period. So I think we define that ourselves, and whether or not we actually live a life in alignment with that is my kind of measure there. Because I think a lot of us are influenced by expectations of society, expectations of parents, peers, whatever it might be, and we might not even realize it, the ways it manifests in our life. So for me, it's just I wake up and I go, I know who I am now. I know what's important to me, and I'm going to live life aligned with that. And that's it, And ever since I've kind of changed my focus on that, it's amazing how much easier everything seems to go, Even the money and the things I used to chase after, those things become easier when I don't really care about it, because I'm just doing me, So that's my take on that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
I want to piggyback off that. Oh, Lou, you're new here, brother. I want to hear you speak. I talk too damn much.
Oh, sorry about that. As the young Padawan, I guess I should speak up for all you old heads on the call. Yeah, so for me, I'm just joking. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up, please, and invite me back next time. So for me, I just juggled with this, and I journaled about this just yesterday when it talks about what does success look like. And I love what you guys are talking about, some of those measurements that we may have had in the past, and whether it be overtaking the world or becoming a millionaire or whatever it may be. I think I had to learn that the hard way. And then so yesterday when I journaled, I was just thinking about an analogy, and the way I ended my journal is the one thing I know is when you're trying to build something, sometimes you're so close that you can't see what you're building. You can't see the structure forming. And so what I look at, as I define success as, is all those bricks, brick by brick, laying, and just trusting the process. So every single day when you're going in and you're doing your podcasting, or you're doing your recordings, or your articles, your blogs, whatever you're doing, for me, I learned that every single day that I do something towards achieving my goals or achieving my success, that truly is what success is for me. It's just going in and having that consistent, those small actions that will actually equal wins in the future. So, yeah, sorry to cut you off, but that's really where I come from and how I define success.
No cutting me off, brother. I need it sometimes. I want to speak to what you talked about, Matt. You talked about knowing who you are, talked about that being, being in alignment with that truth. The thing that comes to mind, and you guys have seen me do this, our identity is hidden in Christ, right? I think about Jesus. I think about, he said he is the truth, right? So when we're in alignment with him, everything does come easier. And the interesting thing about it is, like, I look at my history, right? Metrics for me, much like probably most of you, right, were dollars, things, right? You never know if you have enough stuff until you have too much, right? So it's like nothing exceeds like excess. I would keep going. Okay, I need a bigger house. I need more cars, and found nothing because I always was seeking someone else's opinion in it. Today, success for me is kingdom impact, right? For one soul saved, the heavens rejoice. And if I know God is up there, like, I'm like, okay, I'm successful, even if my wallet's empty and my cupboard might be bare, even if my cup is only half full. For me, if I know that those around me are making their way to a better life, that's success for me, right? Like, it's the field that I work in. I work to make people better in every way, shape, and form that I possibly can. We think about nature and nurture. Naturally, I'm good at certain things that probably would make me successful in the eyes of man. But I would rather nurture the environment around me with those things that I'm naturally good at, even if that means that some of those things aren't going to give me worldly success, even if that means I might have to settle for 5 figures instead of 7. And, I've been a 6-figure man, and that's not fun. It's not fun for me. So for me, it's just kingdom impact, man. Kingdom impact. If I can win one soul for God, I'm good. You can keep the millions, but I will take them if they're coming with that.
I'm gonna jump in right here behind DL real quick, because, man, you took it out of my mouth, man. I was just talking to my wife last night, and I was saying I just turned 43 on Monday, and I was just reflecting over my life and some things. And I was just telling her, I was like, at some point, success for me shifted. It was no longer about income or profits, and it shifted to impact. And as far as on my 9 to 5, I'm thinking about that. And then I started to realize how I was even walking in my purpose unknowingly on the job that I'm in, based on the impact that I was having on my coworkers. And one by one, they were coming and telling me that they look up to me, and for certain other different reasons, meaning our job can be very stressful. And they look at how I'm always at peace, and they look up to that. And then I was able to then drop a seed. Well, I only have peace because it's the God in me. I'm focused on him, so he keeps me in perfect peace. So each time I'm able to drop a little gem, and I'm able to see the light bulb come on, or encourage someone just by living who God has called me to be. Not even trying to do anything, just by following him, I'm impacting others' lives. So it was no longer about money. It was more about impact. Family side, because now I'm no longer really focused on money. Don't get me wrong. I'm still driven to provide for my family, and I'm still driven to protect my family. We as men, that has been ingrained in us since we were young. But the other part of that, now that I'm focused on impact, most of us have not been focused on being the other thing that we're supposed to be. That is the priest and the prophet for our families. So, focusing on God, am I setting designated time for my family to worship? Am I teaching them? Am I washing my wife in the word like I'm supposed to? Am I being the prophet, meaning I'm speaking over my family? I'm calling the things out that we're going to do. I'm sitting down with God, finding out, okay, God, what is our family focus for this year? So am I being the priest and the prophet over my family? Am I covering my family? Am I leading my family the way God intended me to? Yes, I know how to protect and I know how to provide, but am I prophesying? Am I being the priest?
Love it. Tio, I want to give you this next question because you're not the only one that has a unique take on this, but I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Because most of us, we do things that are non-traditional when it comes to work. Most people who are on this stage right now. I want to ask you, Tio, to kick it off for us. What's it look like to work with purpose rather than just simply working for provision? And kind of share, if you can, where you see in purpose in your work. And I want everybody else to kind of follow that example. So that makes sense. What's it look like to work with purpose and not just work for provision? And then kind of what does it look like? How do you know that, you're purposeful in what you do? Where you see the impacts? I want everybody to kind of answer that if you can do that. But Tio, kick it off for us, right?
Oh, absolutely. You remember back in the days, fellas, regardless of where you're from, you probably heard it, but you used to hear people talk about perping. Like, man, you fronting, man, you perping. You don't stop perping, man. That came to my spirit when I think about purpose, man, because everything that I just particularly heard from Vad all the way to O to Matt, RL, Rory, everybody, man, is speaking in ways, man, that it's like, wow, bro. If you're listening out there, I know one of my partners is listening right now, Anthony Cutno. Anthony Cutno understands what's being said because he's living in that same purpose. He understands that every day is not going to look the same. He understands that life is going to keep lifing. He understands that every time we make that pursuit and moving closer to God, Satan, the enemy, is trying his best to come and stop it. Listening to RL, man, and I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, what he just said, bro, we literally could turn it off, bro. Not that we're going to, but what RL just said, man, many of us, we're stuck in titles, we're stuck in positions, we're stuck, chasing, we're stuck perping, and the purpose sometimes get lost in just within that translation. When I look at purpose over position, Brother Vad Lee. I'm a Louisville fan, man. Shout out to Indiana, though. I got respect for Indiana. I love y'all. But I think about, like, man, this gentleman is a chaplain. This gentleman's pouring into individuals that's at high positions, man. But sometimes they be the most, screwed up. Sometimes they be the most lost. Sometimes they're the ones that's trying to figure out, life outside of what we see on TV, sitting back thinking that's the goal. So when I think of purpose and provision, brother, man, you know me, man. I get hyped up, bro, because I'm like, man, wow. My purpose is, it's backed in God, bro. It's that simple. I say it every single day. If you look at any content that I've ever put out, man, I say all we need is seven, and seven is God. That's it. Not to say that, hey, we don't need support of our spouse, not to say we don't need, that tender love from our children. But man, if you do not have God, bro, in everything that you do, I'm telling you, bro, it's not going to come into the fruition in which you may expect. So, purposeful driven, man. Like I said, man, purpose. A lot of people are not looking within themselves, man, and really getting on their knees, man, old school style, putting their hands up to the Lord, man, and saying, Father God, woe is me. A wretch is me, Father God. Use me for the purpose of the kingdom. Because if it's not that, everything else is in vain, brother.
Facts.
Yes,
Right.
sir. You preaching, man. You're preaching now, and I love that. You got me wanting to throw. I think of David when he says, "I lift my hands as evening offerings unto you." Even just a simple act of lifting up your hands, it can be an offering unto the Lord, right? And an opportunity to surrender your will, not my will, but your will be done, right? It's so interesting. That question is so interesting. Well, first of all, another connection. So I graduated from James Madison. I started off at Georgia Tech, then graduated at JMU. And our only loss this year is to Louisville. So we're on the borderline of making the playoffs, and we need Louisville to keep winning. Y'all letting us down, bro. We need y'all to keep winning so that can strengthen our schedule.
It's Moss, bro. They got to do something with Moss, bro. You already know.
But I will tell you, it's so interesting. This will answer my question too. It's so interesting. Y'all last opponent, Louisville, y'all played against Clemson, right? Last week I had an opportunity to go to Clemson. Before that game, I had an opportunity to go to Clemson to speak to the team, and it hit me. It dawned on me. Actually, Dabo Swinney ended up giving me a shout out in this press conference after they won, which I didn't ask for that. I can't make that up, right? I can't do that. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that that's coming. But here's the thing. One of the things that hit me while I was in the room is, these college athletes are getting paid. When I go speak to these NFL teams, these guys are getting paid. All these guys getting paid the big buck. And as I'm there to share, it hit me. I'm like, yo, I'm the brokest dude in the room. Like, I'm like, everybody around me is making millions and thousands of dollars, but yet I get the opportunity to come and share the gospel, which makes me the richest dude in the room. You know what I mean? Which makes me the most, like, I ain't trying to be prideful or anything, but I get to, Jesus says, all authority has been given unto me. When he said that, he was saying, I have been given all authority because of sin has entered the picture from the very beginning. I now have reclaimed that authority, and now I'm giving it unto you. That is purposeful. I'm giving it unto you to go and share to everybody else, right? And so, bro, like, I didn't even know where I was going with that, but when you talked about Louisville, and then I thought about Dabo's comments in the press conference, and then I also thought about how I felt, man, that is purpose, right? Purpose supersedes money. It supersedes how much, somebody else got. It you don't focus on who got this platform. You don't focus on all of these things. You just focus, because a lot of things I do, people don't get to see, right? I'm in the room with these guys that are hurting, right? I had one NFL player. I just played a song at the end, and dude was crying for 20 minutes, and I got to just hang out with him. I didn't know what was going on, right? I don't know what's going on, but I know that the Holy Spirit knows, and I know that God knows. So, man, this is an opportunity to just be present. And what I love about this call so far, man, I'm a big, this may sound weird, but I love P words. I don't know why. P words are just like a big thing to me. So I know that sounds weird, but we're talking about my brother RL. He talked about being the prophet and the priest of the home. Man, I had to write that down. We're talking about provision. We're talking about protection. We're talking about purpose. Man, I had to write that down. We're talking about being present. Like, look at all these P words, right? Don't get your mind in the gutters, right? But look at all these purposeful words, I should say, that we are sharing. So, man, thank you for firing me up. I just feel like going into prayer right now. Good stuff.
Thought we were getting deplatformed there for a minute. I'm like, oh my God, this is the last.
Hey, man.
That should be the soundbite for this whole thing. Hey, man, I love P words. That should be the start of this episode.
I am not going to do that.
Look, here's a P word we're gonna trash right now. Pride, man. We're gonna trash that one right now. So TL spoke to it. There's this man, one of these names, right? We call him Jireh, our provider. So when we're talking about provision and purpose, when we find that identity to follow, to seek after him, right? I put that in the chat, but Matthew 6:33, right? Seek after the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. He's the provider. When we can become humble enough to acknowledge that all good and perfect things come from him. When we can acknowledge that, right? That's him, we find our purpose. I don't think it's necessarily a purpose or provision, right? It's coming into alignment with where that provision comes from. Then that purpose is just, it becomes more clear. I can tell you in my life, when I started doing that more and more intentionally, man, if I told you, we don't have enough time on this call, but if I told you the last 2 years, how everything has just fallen into place after everything crashing down, going to prison, that's another P word that we can trash. Uh, but after doing all that and then just finding this acknowledgement, this posture that would tell me that Jireh is my provider. I don't have to consider provision. Now, let me preface, we do have to steward things. We do have to provide things for those that are around us. We do. But when we acknowledge that our ability to provide is provided from Him, when we acknowledge that our ability to understand these things comes from Him, right? The alignment works, and purpose is just that much more easy. It's not, to me, it's not an either or, it's a both and it's not one over the other. I believe that they work in conjunction with one another. It's a collaborative effect, right? Purpose and provision, they go hand in hand.
Gotcha. Thank you, DL. Very good. Who's next?
Yeah, I actually have another P words, and simply keeping with the P words, like Bad said. Peking, and I know that's not an actual purposeful word, but that's the restaurant I worked at in college. It's Peking Chinese restaurant. And when you're talking about working for provisions, I remember like being there. My name tag said server, and I absolutely hated that. Why? Because I was like, man, that's demeaning, right? Because when you see server on my chest, that means you think you can crack your crab legs open and throw them on the floor. That means you can leave me a 25-cent tip. That means you could just do whatever you want. And that's how I felt in college. And I talk to a lot of people who have that same feeling as they're going through their day-to-day. They feel like that they just have to provide. So they're just grinding to provide for their families. And what I had to learn in that position, especially wearing the name tag server and taking offense to how people used to treat me, I had to learn that there's still purpose even in that position. So when I was at Peking at a Chinese restaurant, I'm waiting tables and I'm running around, nothing stopped me from smiling, right? So I'm at Peking Chinese restaurant with Lou on my chest and server under my name. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm just going to smile. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be the one bouncing around from wall to wall. And people began to enjoy that. And people started requesting me, which I thought was funny, at a Chinese restaurant in Ruston, Louisiana. People were requesting me as they walked in and say, hey, man, can we get Lou? Can we sit at Lou's table? So much so that at times, like the manager would have to say, you know what, we can't do that, right? He has too many tables. We have to spread it out. But why? It's because I learned how to pursue my purpose, even in that position. And I think that's the hard part. When you are in a position, you're in a job where you're thinking, I just have to make money. I mean, I was making $2.18 per hour plus tips. And so you had to grind for your tips. And at some point, I'm just like, dude, I don't have time to think about, the future. I just need to grind now. So for those out there who are just in the grind mode and they're trying to figure out how they're going to work through this job that they're in, they can't see, really where they're going. They can't even think about their purpose because they're just grinding and trying to make money for their family. I have to tell you that there's a way to find your purpose no matter where you are. And if I could find it at Peking Chinese restaurant, I'll tell you now, you can find it wherever you are. You can invest in yourself and find your purpose.
I'll jump on that behind Lou because it took me a minute. I wanted to key in and make sure I'm understanding the conversation. And I mean, the Bible tells us, right? You do all things as you were doing from God. I mean, just flat out, we're commanded by our Father to do all things. And I've heard so many men like get into this frustration of, well, I don't really feel like I'm serving my purpose in the role I have, right? Well, we can do all things like we're doing them unto God, right? You don't see it necessarily. We like to see the stage. Everybody wants to see the stage. They want to be part of the show, right? We see the guy preaching from the pulpit. We see the guy on YouTube sharing what God's doing or something else, right? We see those things and go, oh, they're doing something. What am I doing? Well, you have no idea what you're doing. Our vision is not that big, right? You don't know how you are serving, doing it like you're doing it for God. You have no idea the ripples that that's going to affect, right? Lou was smiling at people. You know how many people just desperately need somebody to smile at them so they don't feel crap about themselves? Like, I make it a purpose to smile or try to remember to smile at everybody I interact with, from the nice ladies at the checkout counter at my grocery store to the server at the restaurant to the person at the fast food window, because I know their day sucks, right? I try and smile at everybody. It's a little thing, but I have no idea how that's going to impact somebody, and that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is just to do my best. But I want to take this another direction, right? What happens when you start pursuing your purpose and you're crossing in that area of provision, right? Because that's such a heavy thing for men, right? We are drilled. We've had the same instruction set for 1,000 years. Provide. That is your worth. Provide. What happens when you start to pursue purpose and provision becomes really tight because of it? My dad was a minister for 47 years, y'all. We only survived. I swear, I love the man. We survived because my grandmother lived with us. My grandfather had a tremendous pension, so she had money to help. My father never made them more than $40,000 a year in his entire life, and he preached in the Seattle, Tacoma area. And that's always been ridiculously expensive, right? I gave up a lot of financial security to pursue what I do now. I made a lot more money, y'all, when I was doing IT. I gave up a lot of that security. My wife believes in it enough that she took a part-time job to help pay for things while we're making this transition, because she believes in what we're doing, right? But there is that head space where it's like, I know I have a pursuit, a purpose, and I tried to live my purpose when I was doing my other job. I tried to live every day doing my best for God. But when your purpose starts to steer you into what we say, hey, financial instability, and you start going, oh, can I really do that? Am I allowed to do that? And you start having that one-on-one conversation with God. It's like, am I pursuing where God takes me, regardless of provision or feeling like I'm providing, right? At what point do you step out on faith in that provision?
I feel like you kind of just said it. Faith, right? Like to me, because I've been in a place where I've just been tanking financially, just bleeding out everywhere, trying to do what I feel like is my purpose, and I've had to at times be willing to fully just trust and let go and trust in the path, and what will be, and it's worked out thus far. But I think for me, at least, it's been an exercise of faith. Can I let go and just let it be? And yeah, that's what I got for that part.
Oh, that's good, man. Thank you, Matt. A couple of comments jumping in, man. Our brother from another, Emilio Roman. This is the leader of Men as Well, man. If you don't know him, good chance to get to know him. Check him out. You can find him on Facebook. Familia, go with that. Good to see you, man. We got a comment from one of our sisters out here. Love to hear men talk about God. I'm hearing that so much from ladies. And what does that tell you? I'm hearing it so much. It's like, what does that indicate? I mean, we driving in our car, we see a red light. We know the red light means stop. In some places, it means speed up, but it's supposed to mean stop. Because I'm hearing all these ladies, sisters, mothers, daughters, all over the country, kind of. And they say comment just like this one. So I'm glad that we're honoring that and we're stepping up where we need to be, man. So love to hear men talk about God. I do too. Awesome. All right, who's next on that question? If not, we'll move forward.
I'll jump in real quick. I don't want it to pass by here. He said something that triggered me. He said stepping out on faith. Now, my mind goes back to Peter, and we've all heard the sermon or scriptures about him stepping out of the boat and him walking on water, and then him noticing what's going on around him and him sinking, and then Jesus reaching down and picking him up. But something about that story the first thing we have to do before we step out of the boat, we have to do what Peter did. He had to first recognize that whatever he was getting into, he had to recognize it was God first. Once he recognized it was God, he had to ask, can I come? And ask for permission to step out. Then once he asked for permission, then he began to walk. But then he did lose focus and he began to sink. And it tells me a few things. A lot of times when we're what we call stepping out on faith, sometimes it's not faith. Sometimes we're motivated by fear. And sometimes we're stepping out on our own accord. And then after we're out, we're trying to introduce God into it. When if we go to God first and get his permission, I feel that he's going to provide. He's going to keep you, and then you can't get focused on what's going on around you. You have to stay focused on him, and he will lead you and guide you. He will direct your path. Things will get hard. You will be in the fire, but you won't be burned. You know, it won't overtake you. But we have to first recognize it's him, and we have to seek his direction in it. We can't just jump out and then try to introduce him into it, because what we jump out into might not be him. And he might let you fall just to teach you a lesson. And then sometimes we go through it so we can then be the example for others. But we have to, again, go to him first, seek him first, count the cost, because he also tells you that too. Count the cost. And it's certain things that, we have to do if we're truly stepping out on faith. We can't step out and then say, okay, God, where are you? And he never told you to get out the boat. So
thank you, sir.
Yes, it's the other way around. He's saying, Adam, where are you? Adam, where are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, brother, you need that bullhorn, bro. You just need to blast that horn, dog, with some of these jewels that's being dropped, man. That P. Man, I'm so happy Brother Val brought that up, because those P words, man, that privacy in prayer, bro, that privacy of prayer. That young lady that said, man, I love seeing men talk about God.
Tio, wait a minute. Are we really doing this? Are we going to talk P word for the rest of the show? Seriously?
Hey, let's go. Let's go, bro. Hey, dog, if you don't feel it right now, bro, like whoever's watching, listening, wherever you located, if you don't feel the power of God moving within this atmosphere right now, you are out of your freaking mind, because you can feel it, man. You can feel it. The power of God is here, bro. They say, hey, where 2 or 3 gather, man. But that private prayer, man, I just have to say it, brother. That private prayer, man. And me and brother DL, last time we was on together, we was talking about that 19-year-old. That 19-year-old is still out there. Whoever you are out there right now, you hearing all these brothers. You see African American faces, you see Caucasian faces, you see brothers that's working as this capacity. None of that matters, bro. Fix your mindset and your heart and your spirit on God. Everything else, it's a farce, bro. I've been on this campaign, brothers. So I'm like, man, it's the coolest thing, the dopest thing, the illest thing, the most fire thing, whatever way of looking at it that you want to say is following God, bro. There's nothing else out there, bro, more tighter than following God. And like Brother RL said earlier, man, you will see the fruits of that. You will see, if you pray specific in private with the Lord, he's going to answer for whatever that may be. It may not come when you want it. It may not come how you want it. But if your heart is earnest and pure, another P word, if your heart is pure, bro, you gotta take you, he'll take you wherever and you'll be covered, man. So just had to say that, man. Hey, RL got me inspired over here, bro.
Thank you, brother. I'm gonna hold the next comment. Hold on. I see your mouth moving. Hold on 1 second, man. I want to give some shout outs to the comment section real quick. We got 3 more questions I gotta ask before the show ends. I can't put these on the cutting room floor. So be brief with your comments coming up. But first off, I'm gonna drop look, that's my queen right there. Respect her, or you get bounced. That's my queen right there. Thank you, baby. Love it. All right. Sister said we bringing faith in here, new direction. Sister, you ain't been watching this show. We talk faith every single time we come out here at the box. This ain't nothing that's just new to you, but stay with us. You hear it all the time. We do that all the time for over an hour every single month. So stay with us. Thanks for listening. Love it. All right. So Brent, you were next, right? Go ahead.
Oh man, I gotta throw in one more P if we're gonna talk about P words. That's procrastination. And that is the stumbling block between provision and purpose. A lot of times we hear a calling, we hear God moving us in a direction, that bullhorn, that calling where God is trying to move us towards purpose. And we procrastinate on that because we're holding on to that provision. That's safety. We're staying in the boat. I love that story about Peter. It's my favorite story in the Bible because Peter was the only one. He gets trashed all the time for being kind of rash. He is the only one with enough faith to even step out of the boat. He is the only human being in history to walk on water, even if it was for a second. All those other disciples, they're staying in the safety of the boat because they procrastinated. They're like, right? We know that. And unfortunately, when we procrastinate on what God is moving us towards our purpose, sometimes God moves past that and goes, okay, I still have to get this accomplished. So I'm going to give this to Brother Lou over here, and he's going to take on what you were supposed to be doing because you wouldn't step out of the boat.
All right. Let's move on. I got you, man. We got.
Can I just say one thing real quick, Brother You, for the 19-year-old?
All right, come on, dear. Come on.
Really quick.
Right.
Let's not mistake ambition for stepping out in faith. Ambition tends to do that a lot. I just want to say that for the listener out there.
I love it. All right. So I will ask you a quick question because the two other ones are a little bit bigger, a little bit meaty, I think. For you guys specifically, how do you connect purpose and connection with other men? I'm asking that because we do this, and I'm hearing from you guys personal testimonies. Another word. Here we go. Another P word. I'm hearing personal testimonies from other men, from you guys, people in your life, in your sphere of influence. And they are saying that this show has impacted them in such a way that their lives have changed. Their approach has changed. Here's another P word. I didn't plan it. Their perspective has changed on where they are in life and where they want to be. And what you're telling me, what screenshot you sent me, people who are watching this, I'm feeling that they're feeling that pull. Here we go. What's up, sweetie P? Good to see you, sweetie. But so there's an impact there. But how do you guys connect purpose and connection together? Because as men, we can come together and just be in the same room and not really connect. We can be have a lack of intention about responding back to messages and shit guys in the house. What's up, big boy? Uncle, you love me, man. All right, so this is what happens. So how do you guys deal with that? Because you have to connect with other men. It's kind of what you do. It's important to you. How do you connect purpose to that? Answer those as brief as you can, please, so we can keep moving forward. Go ahead. Who's first?
Let me throw out a P word real quick.
Oh, Lord.
Presence.
All
presence. Right. Be present, man. There's nothing more valuable in a relationship between purpose, provision, and people, another P, than being present, right? And the thing that comes to mind when T.O. was talking about the power, man, the Spirit of the Lord is there is freedom. His presence, man, is what it's all about. We don't have to worry about tomorrow. We don't have to regret yesterday, right? We be present, man. There's presence in presence.
And we love it. All of us, thanks for jumping in, brother. We love it too, man. Upper right-hand corner of the screen, QR code. Jump in there, brother. Love to have you. All right. Who's next?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it a little bit. So I think the biggest thing that we have to do as men is stop competing. I know a lot of times that's in our blood. We love that competition. Don't get me wrong. There's healthy competition, but there's also that unhealthy competition where we're tearing each other down just so we can get the leg up. And I think that's one of the biggest things when we're starting to connect instead of just compete. And the second part about that is stop projecting. I did it. Stop projecting your own insecurities on someone else. And I think that's really what happens when we're in the creative world. Sometimes we're insecure. And so when we connect to somebody else, we start projecting our own insecurities towards them, and we start trying to tear them down. And that's that unhealthy competition I'm talking about. So we just had to grow through that and learn how to be, supportive of each other and continue to grow and develop each other.
I'll jump in on that one, if that's all right.
Yes.
First, let me just get caught up. I prefer to purport my personal opinion on the preferred platform here. So did we get caught up now? Am I back in the game? Okay. As far as this goes, and I'll throw a couple more out there for you. I mean, I've been over here thinking about this. Listen to all you guys. So I think I love what you guys are saying about this when it comes to connection and men and purpose. I think part of what we miss is that as men, I think that we have to be purposeful about our connection with men, because I think it's like we expect it to happen. Hey, I'm a guy, so there's other guys. We're just going to connect. I'm going to find brothers. Look, in this world, we're not out there, in groups, in organizations, hanging out, working together. We don't get to do that. All of our time right now is spent really working, providing, protecting, taking care of all these other, P words that I can continue to come up with. As we take care of our families, and so I think a lot of guys are like, well, I just don't happen to know any other guys. I don't happen to have a brotherhood. You got to be purposeful about going out there and finding a brotherhood. You have to say, this is important to me. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to, on purpose, find something where I'm a part of the overall product. Now I'm done.
Out of the mouth of Rory Paquette. This is going to be all night long right here. All right, who's next? Real quick, man. Anybody else? If not, we're going to keep moving. TikTok. Let's keep going. All right. So for you guys, because this is always a part of our conversation, kind of hard to get around it because we have multi-generations that are part of the panel and that are listening. Case in point, Brad got his son in his arm. That's another generation right there. Are people who are going to see things that the generations after him won't be, but he can't understand it. He's going to see purpose and victory from a whole different level, a whole different perspective again. So what does legacy mean to you guys in the context of what we're talking about? We're talking about values and growth, and we're talking about purpose, but legacy, what does it mean? What does it mean from your standpoint with the work that you do? Because let's be real about it. A lot of people that we know, gender, men, women, it's just kind of the same. They look at the work that they do and they look at that as, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what makes me me. This gives me identity. But the work that you guys don't want to hear your personal perspective. The work that you're doing. Describe for us, for the listeners and the viewers, what legacy looks like. Because it moves past the whole, my vision is so important idea, and legacy goes beyond that and starts branching out into, what you can pass down, what you can duplicate yourself in. It goes further than just, the work I do full time or part time. So kind of real quick, if you can, please, if you don't mind, be deliberate about that. What does legacy look like in the work that you're doing right now? I want to hear from everybody on this one real quick, if you don't mind, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'll jump in. Legacy for me looks like one episode at a time. If I produce one episode and one person out of however many countries, out of however many thousand downloads, hears that, takes it to heart, and it improves not just their lives, but the lives of the people around them because they made those choices. That's legacy. I will never see what that does, but my work touching somebody else's lives in a positive way and them taking that a step farther, that's legacy.
Okay, next. Good stuff, man. Thank you, Brent. Good. Who's next? That's way past 3 Mississippis, y'all. Come on. Who's next?
I can jump in. I would tend to agree. I think, a lot of what I do is I look around of, friends, coworkers, people I know, people are like sleepwalking. They're sick, unwell, distracted. They're binging on TikTok for hours and hours. They're just not well. And, Brian, I think in your subtitle, it mentions about purpose over autopilot. So many people are living on autopilot. And I just wake up. It's like, come on, man. There's so much more to life. And if you're not careful, the world is just filled with these distractions and things that keep us stuck exactly where we are. So my legacy is like, again, one person. If I can help one person wake up and find that truth that we've been discussing this whole call, shit, I'm doing all right then, because that will continue to spread. It just takes one light, and that light keeps shining, and then all of a sudden, you know, the shadows start to go away. And it's just that. So that's me. Yeah. Wake up and start living the life you were meant to live. That's what I'm trying to do.
Let's do it next.
I'll
You
jump in.
going, RL?
I'm with Matthew on that. It's all about helping individuals wake up and see who they really are, that they are who God says they are and not who the world says they are. We're so influenced by social media and the fear of missing out and trying to be what society says we are, and not really realizing that it's all a facade. None of it is really real. So just to get to the core of who you are and bring that out and be who God has called you to be, and not who social media says that you're supposed to be. Especially when it comes to men, we hear so many things about what a real man is, and it's all coming from people who not men. You know, and I'm not saying females in general, but I'm also talking about males, because there's a difference between a male and a man. There's a lot of males out there, but there's not a lot of men. As far as society, and again, I'm trying to rush this real quick, and I was trying to tell on the side of social media, and it's not that men are not present, and it's not that good fathers are not there. It's just that we've been quiet, and we've been quiet too long. The squeaky wheel is what gets the oil. So they believe that real men don't exist because real men are not speaking. That's why I'm glad for this platform. So you can actually see different and say, we are present, and this is how we really operate. This is who we are. This is not, get off of social media, and let's connect as men, grow as men, and then walk in our purpose and begin to teach. Because believe it or not, it's the fathers that are really supposed to be teaching, and we place that too much on the mothers. So we need to stand in our purpose, be who God would call us to be. And I'm gonna jump to like so many different ways just now. But just stand up in your purpose and who God has called you to be, and be who you're supposed to be. Just be. That's it. Just be.
I love it. Very passionate point. Who's next?
I'll jump in, man. Everybody's been talking about that one more. Legacy for me is one less. One less person stuck in addiction. One less person trapped in a box. One less person going to prison. One less person that feels like they are stuck. That's legacy for me. If
Thank you,
there's
sir.
one listener out there that from just this panel here, not even me, I'm just a participant here. But if there's one person out there who's listening, watching, that gains freedom from this, right? He's no longer stuck. That's legacy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I would say legacy. Man, I want to just stand at the throne, and I want to hear, job well done, my good and faithful servant, man. And
Yes.
that comes with what we do every single day. Creating, man. Just keep creating, keep creating, keep creating, keep creating, keep praying. That P word once again, man. Because again, legacy. Hey, I got a niece. Her son is named Legacy. That's what she named him. And I remember asking her, why did you name him Legacy? And she said, because I know what God's going to do in his life. And I'll leave it with that, man. Just knowing what God's going to do. Our legacy is going to be, written. It's already written. Great Dr. Oliver T. Reed, that's with us today. He always says, man, there's no U-Haul behind the hearse. And again, when we look at that obituary form, it's going to be stated whether or not, the Lord's going to say, job well done, my good and faithful servant.
I love it. Who's that next, Lou? Lou, it's you? Who's next?
Yes, sir. So when I think about legacy, I just think about that lasting impact, and that's built through those meaningful connections. And that's what really we talk about, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's as parents, as men, as fathers, going out and creating those teachable and memorable experiences that will last a children a lifetime. And that's really what I believe our role is on earth as RL. And many of you have already said, is that we need to spend time just connecting with our children and connecting with others outside of the home, especially young people. because they just need to see positive male role models out there establishing connections. And I believe that's what really secures your legacy.
Very good. Did we miss anybody? Bad?
Yeah, I'll go. You might hear some background noise, but I really wanted to build off VL and TO because it just was so in alignment of what I was already thinking in terms of legacy. The thing that came to my spirit is, legacy is so big. Legacy seems so big, right? It seems like this big, grand thing. But the thing that God is showing me is that legacy is small and legacy is little. It's the small impacts that you're making in somebody's life each and every day. The Bible says that there's faith of a mustard seed can move mountains, right? And so when you invest in something small, when you invest in the small things, then big results happen. One of the things that I shared when I went to go speak to Clemson and Rutgers just a couple of weeks ago is that everybody wants to be a part of winning, but not everybody wants to invest in the process of what it actually takes to win, right? That means everybody wants to be a part of this big, social media following and this big church and millions of people and all of these things, because in our society that looks like the ultimate win. But not everybody want to go through the process of what it actually takes. You don't know what it took. I think Ariel talked about count the cost. You don't know what it took to even get to that point. A lot of people see what I do and they see that I go out to these big teams, but not everybody even know that most of those I don't even get paid for, right? Most of those I'm trying to scramble up $1 just to get there, because I see the little impact that I can make that can sprout up into something great, right? Like, shoot, I can go on in testimony about that, but God has really taught me a lot about manna in this season, and it's just is what I need, nothing more, nothing less, right? He said, don't take more than what you need, right? But take exactly what you need. And sometimes that seems like a small portion, because I might not need a big plate today. I might just need the small little seed that sprouts up into something great. And so what I'm learning is legacy is small. It's after I get off this call, watching my wife across from me right now with this bonnet on her head, and she mad at me right now. I messed up, and she's sweeping the floor. She's sweeping right now, but what it looks like for me is
don't text me. Don't nothing to do with this.
It's all Mr. U fault. But
no, it's not.
But just in this point,
don't text it.
In this point, though, it's the little things that I'm learning that sprouts up to be the big things. Like cleaning up, right? That's something that I don't like doing, but that's something that my wife enjoys and appreciates, right? And so I can do something small that will ultimately lead to big things. And, we've been talking about, I got a list of P words, right? And so anyway, somebody caught that. But anyway, we're continuing to be purposeful and continue to be driven. So I appreciate y'all, man.
All right, Paquette, come on. Legacy, brief as you can. We ain't getting out of this, man. Let's go.
All right, man, I'll go fast. What everybody else said, love it. I think Brent started us off. If you can help one guy out there to be better tomorrow than he is today, you have succeeded, and you've left a legacy somewhere with somebody, and you're probably never going to see it. My biggest takeaway from this was that it took me a very long time in my life to realize that my legacy, that I was really going to leave, my true legacy, had nothing to do with work. And unfortunately, it took me a long time to see it. And so, to be honest, it's my 3 kids, them being happy, them being successful in their own way in life, and passing on values to my grandkids. That's legacy. I'm good.
I love it. All right, final question for the show. Please be aware of your responses in all of this as far as time goes. Try to respect your time and give you a Saturday back. I know we already had a football theme going. Saturday's all college football for me, so don't try to mess with that. All right? Just kidding. All right, so only question left. If you could rewrite your work-life purpose story, I want to round out this incredible 2-part segment that we've done on this show. If you can rewrite your work-life purpose story, what would the next chapter say? Think about that. If you can rewrite your work-life purpose story, what would the next chapter say? That shouldn't be a super long answer, all right? If it is, it's fine. But if it doesn't have to be, that's great too. if you could rewrite your work-life purpose story, what would the next chapter say? What's the title of the next chapter? Give us 10 lines about this book we're going to read about your life here. Go ahead,
I'll
Roy.
jump in on that if that's cool, and get out of the way real quick. Mine would be real simple. It would be service, and it would be giving back, and that's pretty much it. And it's giving back to all the people that I possibly can, all the people who've helped me, and of course, and I think most importantly, giving back to my wife for all the sacrifices she made to get me here. I get to do this full time and sit here with you guys, and that's only because she supported me every step of the way with all the stupid things I did along the way. So that's it for me, brothers.
Wow, I wish I could see your smile. I know it's humongous. Beautiful wife you have, by the way, man. So excited to hear you say something like that. That's really good, man. Thank you. Who's next?
I can jump on. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So next chapter, what would it say? It would say, be your truth and lead with love.
Be your truth and lead with love. I love it. Who's next? Lou.
Yeah, so my next chapter would be execute, because in many cases we spend time planning and just thinking about it. We pray and we come to all these conclusions, but then we just get stuck. So my next chapter is execute. Show them that it can be done and continue to do your thing.
I love it. Thank you, Lou. Who's
I got to
next?
jump in right behind Lou because I'm actually doing that right now. I'm in the process of doing that, and my next chapter is from excuses to execution. So you spoke to me, Lou, and that's what it is. Like real quick, just evaluating my life and just being transparent and showing my downfalls, and now showing how we rise above that, and how you stop making the excuses and walk in execution. So it's time. Like I said earlier, it's time to be. No longer is not stop talking about it and be about it.
Wow, that's good stuff right there, RL. Who's next?
I'm gonna say his plans, man. His plans, putting childish things behind me. It's time to kind of like what Rory said, right? I have a lifetime of mistakes, lifetime of trying to do things my way, right? And like I've mentioned just a little bit in here and on other panels, man. When I step into what he wants and I'm obedient to that, that's when I'm being a man. That's when my life is falling in line. That's when all the things come together that I could never even imagine. So his plans, putting childish things behind me.
Love it, man. Thanks, DL. Who's next?
And I would say keep building. Just keep building.
Keep building. That's the name of the chapter, right? Gotcha. Who's next?
That sound like Nehemiah, T.O. Build in one hand and keep working in the other. So I just want to encourage you there. Mine would be, sorry, I need to talk into the mic. Mine would be play your part. And the reason why that is important for me is because your part might not always be the superstar. Your part might not always be the quarterback, even though that's the position I play, right? But you got to play your part, play your role, know your role, right? And know what God is calling you into this season. Don't fake it till you make it, right? Don't subscribe to fake it till you make it culture, right? Because that's a lie from the enemy, because God judges the inward part. So we can't make it into heaven by faking it, but we have to be able to play our part on purpose.
Love it. Did we miss anybody? Who's next?
I guess other than you, I'm the last to go on this one.
Oh,
I think. Multiplication. The next chapter is multiplication. God's very clear about the gifts he gives us being called to multiply. In two different parables in the Bible, Jesus talks about the servants, right, the stewards serving the masters who were entrusted with talents. And in both places, they were blessed. They were admonished for being faithful because they took the gifts, the talents they were given, and they multiplied. God has given me a set of gifts, and in this new chapter, it's all about multiplying those gifts for the kingdom.
love it. I love it. I guess if I answer the question myself, mine would be the sledgehammer is your friend. That's the name of my next chapter. I had a a business, a corporation that I was building. A couple of you may know a little bit about it. I had to take a sledgehammer to it. It was something that was built on a foundation that God didn't say build. It was a bad thing. It was actually a good thing, but as we should know by now, everything that's good is not God. So I had to take a sledgehammer to the entire thing. Just imagine the embarrassment. Been promoting it, been putting it out here, telling folks about it, asking people to support it. Come to find out that it wasn't what God was saying. Maybe it was close to it, but not exactly what he was saying. So guess what had to happen? I had to take a sledgehammer to it and knock the whole thing down and start over from scratch. And I think there's a message in that because, believe it or not, if we don't listen to the Lord specifically and do exactly what he says without adding our own stuff to it, we end up building something and investing in something or some people that he didn't say, and then we got to tear the whole thing down and go back to the starting point, the place of obedience to do what he said to do. So it's a little bit embarrassing. It doesn't feel good to me as a person, but the sledgehammer is my friend. It helped me to get back on track, back to the correct starting point quickly and faster. I want to bring a challenge to you guys before we get out of here. No more than 5 minutes to touch on this, hopefully, please. But I want to make a challenge to you guys that are not only on the panel, but you guys that are watching and listening to this show. And you've been with us since we started in June. I want to put a challenge out to you guys because we're growing and we're evolving. We're doing some new things coming up, but I want to make sure we don't lose the point. We don't lose the vision of what this is all about. See, I love that you guys are here, and don't get me wrong. It's a godsend for you guys to be here. It matters to me. I'm dog tired, but I got here because I wanted to be here with you guys. I get enjoyment. I get fulfillment from this. So it matters to me to do this. At the same time, there's always been a vision about this. And I don't want you to get that lost. I want you to get it twisted. There's always been a vision about this. This needs to be happening in your neighborhoods. This needs to be happening in your sphere of influence, in your communities. Y'all pass by 3 to 5 guys probably every single day, and you let them keep on walking. Or they headed to the bridge to jump, or they going to the pill bottle. You don't know where they're going. We have a responsibility. And I don't want to put too much on you guys, but I'm putting too much on you guys. This is a responsibility that we have, and you have to take it. You can't pass by folks and talk about God here on this platform, and you pass by people every day and let them keep going where they're going. Either you can pull them out of the fire because you will pull out of the fire, or you can watch them burn. You got to just decide how you're going to do this thing. So there's a couple of you who, some of them are not here on the panel today, but some are part of our family. They've been starting groups where they live, where they are, with 2 people, with 5 people. And they're talking about stuff just like this, and they're creating safe spaces where you live, work, and play. Putting the challenge out to you guys to do the same thing. I don't mean a Facebook group. We all can do that. That's not really hard work. I'm talking about the intentional work that the masses can't see and analytics can't boost. Okay? I'm putting the challenge to you guys. Start building that. Even if you think you're imperfect and you don't think you have what it takes, or maybe you don't have the faith component like some of us on the call do, you can get help with that too. Reach out to some of us who you think have that and have a conversation about it. But start doing the work. Start building the community, because if we don't do that, who's going to do that? The next man might be ready to do the same thing that you were ready to do years ago and end it all. We got a responsibility. So I'm putting a challenge to you guys to ask you a couple of questions and be closing the show out for real, okay? For real. Will you agree to connect more than you've been doing up to this point with other men? Even if it's men on this platform right now, even on this screen right now, would you agree to connect more than what you've been doing? Are you willing to honor the brotherhood by doing that? Are you willing to extend yourself beyond your comfort level? Only 2 questions I'm asking today. I don't want you to answer it on live. I want you to just think about that and do something about it after we go off air. Send that message. Make that phone call. Are you willing to connect more than you have been up to this point? I can't wait for 2026 to start doing a New Year's resolution. That's trash. Do something right now. Are you willing to connect more than you have been? Are you willing to extend yourself outside of your comfort zone? If you do that, if you decide to do that and be honest about that, I believe that's going to make more of a difference in somebody's life than anything you can say on this platform, going out, of course, however far this broadcast is being seen and reached, okay? So think about those two things. Are you willing to connect more? If the answer is yes, throw your hand up. I'm willing to connect more. Matt, you can't be the only one. Matt, you can't.
I had it up first. It just came down first. That's all.
Are you willing to extend yourself outside of your comfort zone? Throw them up if you are. Love you guys. Thank you for what you're doing. This is the Men's Roundtable Series podcast. This is the show for men, made by men, about men, a safe space for men to talk about men's issues. Thank you for all the people who are jumping in the comment section, who are promoting this show. Please do the same where you are in your sphere of influence. You guys on the panel and all you guys watching and listening, share us. Drop a review in Apple Podcast for us. It helps us out so much. Drop a 5-star review for us. 4 stars up. Drop a 5-star review for us. Let us know that you enjoy the show, even as a panelist. Do that for us today. Thanks again for watching and listening. This is the Men's Roundtable Series podcast, and we're the men, the warriors, the husbands, the fathers, the brothers, the sons. We are that. We are here, and we ain't going nowhere.